Hey guys, David Patrick Green, davidpatrickgreen.com, hackhollywood.com. So today's topic is, what do you do when you screw up? So when you screw up, the best thing you can do is just own up to it. And it doesn't matter what it is you're doing. If you're in an audition, if you're meeting an agent, if you are on the set, if you screw up, the best thing to do is to just go through it and let people share in whatever is going on with you. Because when you share what is going on with you, so for instance, if I forget my lines or I freeze, something to that effect, then I'm going to go, oh, I just forgot my lines. I'm so sorry. I'm really nervous right now. I don't know why I'm nervous. And as you get it out, you become less nervous. And so you are shedding that energy. And the people in the room are actually absorbing the energy from you, and they're returning positive vibes, because we all have this community instinct as humans to help one another out. That's really how we survive. We're not lone wolf type of animals. We are community group animals. So our instincts are, when one of our members is flailing or struggling, it's to help them out. You just got to let it out. And it doesn't matter what the stakes are, because the more you are vulnerable, if you can crack a joke, if you can just let it out of yourself, the people that you're with will want to help you in return. So for instance, let's say you're trying to meet a producer. You go into a producer's office and you're really nervous because, this is a big producer and you want to maybe help them out, read scripts for them, maybe get to know them, get more and more responsibilities, eventually maybe read for parts in their movies. But when you walk in the door, they don't really give you a friendly greeting. So maybe you freeze up a little. Like you say, hi, I'd like to apply for an internship, or I'd like to help you out to do this kind of thing. And the person just goes, I'm sorry, but we don't do that kind of thing. So you want to run away, or you want to punch them in the face. Well, punching is not going to help them or you, and running away is not going to help you either. So you stand your ground and you figure out what to do by staying there. In fact, you don't even have to do anything. If you just stay there, chances are really good they'll say, I'm sorry, but why are you still here? Or even if you walked in and didn't say anything to anyone, at some point they're going to go, why are you here? And if you're just really nervous, then you're going to say, well, I'm actually here because I want to help you guys out by doing this, but I'm just so nervous right now because I really love this company and I love the movies that you make, and so I'm just a little bit overwhelmed. Most people, even the meanest person, in the face of that kind of vulnerability, is going to say, oh, well, don't worry about it. What do you want to say? What is it you think you can help us with? Right? They're going to actually try and coax it out of you. And you're going to say, well, I'm really good at this, or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter how interactions go if you are yourself. Obviously, if you're auditioning for a movie or a TV show, you need to do a decent performance, but the way to get yourself to a decent performance is by being open and vulnerable. One of the ways I do that now is when I walk into the room, I really take in the room and I say, hey, how are you guys doing? How are the auditions going? You guys getting enough break time? Do you want to take a minute? Do you guys need to go to the bathroom or anything like that? And I do it because I want them to be comfortable, and it makes me comfortable talking to them about these things. It sort of takes my mind off what it is I'm there to do. It takes the pressure off. So I do that, and generally speaking, they get more relaxed too, because they're not sure what you're going to do as an actor. You could be one of those kind of wacky actors, high-strung, high-maintenance type of actors, and so they don't know how you're going to react. So if you react cool to them, then they'll often relax too, and everybody's having a better time. And when you have that whole relaxed vibe going on, it infuses that into the performance. Everybody is not on edge anymore, and they're probably going to give you more latitude, more leeway. If you do happen to mess up, they won't be tense like, the line is this, you know. They'll be like, oh, don't worry about it. Here, let's just start again. You know, they're going to be more casual because you have set them at ease. You've put them at ease. And I'll actually tell you a quick little story about this. I walked into an audition not even knowing really what the part was. There was two parts that sounded the same. One was coach and the other one was male coach. And my agent wasn't being much help. He said, all I can tell is this. And I thought, okay. So I prepared both parts, and I was feeling a lot of resistance inside. I'm like, I want to know what I'm doing. You know, you don't want to walk into these things uncertain. So I wanted to know what I was doing, but I learned both parts as separate parts. Then I walked in, and I had this kind of friendly vibe, and I said, how are you guys doing, blah, blah, blah. And I said, look, is there anything you want to tell me? And they're like, what do you mean? Is there anything? And I said, well, you know, is there anything that you see actors doing over and over that maybe isn't, you know, helping the story move along? It's not, you know, is there something that maybe people are missing? And they said, well, actually, the parts are the same. And I went, oh, okay, so you want me to combine both parts because I've actually learned them as two separate parts. And they said, yeah, but don't worry about it. If you want to do just one part and then do the next part, that's totally fine. Now, I don't know if they would have done that if I hadn't sort of put them at ease and been friendly and, you know, asked them some questions. And I could tell they were all young assistants and associates. They weren't the casting directors, so they are nervous that they're going to screw things up. They don't want to get in trouble. And so I was trying to put them at ease and also trying to get information from them that could help me do a better job. So they said, you know, don't worry about it. Do them together, but if you can't do them together, do it separately. And I said, well, you know, I spent a couple of minutes beforehand. I'll do it. I'll try and do it together. But since they had already given me the option, I felt like, you know, if I screw this up, I can just go back to the one part and then the other part. So because I was more relaxed, I was able to combine both parts, and I felt okay. And they said, oh, you totally nailed it. And I was like, yeah, I guess I did. I mean, I really felt like I gave them what I intended to. There were no flubs, no screw-ups, no nothing. And so I kind of left on a bit of a joke. I said, oh, well, good. But could you tell the two different parts? You know, could you tell my different characters in there? And they're like, oh, yeah, totally. So I was just having fun with them. But by being relaxed and vulnerable and not putting too much pressure on them or myself, by just starting the conversation and talking about things that don't have anything to do with what it is that I'm there for, I guess it's like an icebreaker, you could call it. It takes the tension out of whatever the situation is. And you can do the exact same thing in any situation that you're walking into, where you have to present something and it's sort of an unknown result, or maybe the people that are there don't know what you're going to do. Just forget about what you're there to do and be vulnerable and be open. So let's say I had forgotten all my lines when I did that. Well, then I would have went, well, that's exactly what I was afraid of. I just can't put these things together just yet. And then they would have probably said, oh, well, you know, don't worry about it. Because if you are vulnerable and you are showing that side of you, your feeling side, your weaker side, then they'll feel comfortable doing the same. And then you come together. You're like, hey, we're here to do this thing together. And so let's get it done. So long as you don't act all nervous, that's when it kind of freaks people out. Because if someone's nervous around us, that makes us nervous, because we don't know what they're nervous about, but we figure, well, if you're nervous, you must have a good reason to be nervous. So that's kind of making me nervous. Like, what, is there Is there a gorilla down the hall? Like, what's going on here? And so it's really important to be relaxed and take the tension out of situations whenever possible. So whether you're auditioning, whether you're meeting someone at a production company or you're walking into a casting office, don't worry about how they behave. Okay, people are going to come at you charging like a gorilla. And what do they tell you? If a gorilla charges at you, stand your ground. You don't charge back at them. You don't turn around and run away. You just stand your ground because you haven't done anything to them. And so there's no real reason for them to be charging you or be mad at you. So you have to understand it's not about you. It's about something else that's going on. It's about the fact that their kid just got kicked out of boarding school, or the fact that the lead actor they thought they had for the movie just dropped out and is doing a competitor's movie. Or maybe they found out that one of the producers that they were hoping to work with doesn't want to use them as a casting director. There are so many things, and we always want to make everything about ourselves, but it's not about you. How could it be? They've never even met you before. So when you're approaching people, remember, whatever they're doing doesn't have anything to do with you, and it's a great opportunity to go, that person's not having a good day. Maybe I can make that day go a little better. Like, you don't necessarily have to say, hey, what's bugging you? Because they're probably not going to tell you. But you could say something like, hey, you seem really busy right now. Do you want me to run out and grab you a coffee or something? Or are you hungry? Or, I noticed that this is a beautiful office. It must be nice working here. There are just so many different things you can say to break the tension. Or you can say, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I've bothered you right now. This must be an incredibly important time. I'm so sorry. When would be a more convenient time to come back? Because as soon as you apologize like that, it takes the wind out of their sails. Even if they're not mad at you, they're still mad. And then by you going, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to upset you, then they'll go, oh, no, it's not you. I'm not mad at you. I'm just upset about some other things. And so by being vulnerable and responding to people but not taking it personally and making it about you and trying to help them out, they will respond to you. They'll go, oh no, but that is so nice of you to ask me if to get me a coffee or what have you. So you just need to remain calm no matter what. But if you get nervous, then just say, I'm nervous right now. I'm sorry. I had a great speech prepared and I don't know where it is because I can't remember it. So let me skip the speech and I'll just tell you in my own words, whatever words are available right now. And you might say, well, you're a production company and I would like to help you out in this way. And you're basically going to say what was in your little speech anyway. It's just not going to come out all polished. And guess what? That is usually far preferable to a prepared speech because it's you. It's you being yourself, and that makes them feel comfortable. When you're being sincere and truthful, they feel that. And so they'll want to be sincere and helpful. So they'll probably go, well, normally we don't do that, but, and I have had so many people change their mind about whatever it was they told me, whether it's customer service reps, whether it's producers or directors or casting directors. If I remember to retain my cool and explain to them, oh, I'm sorry, I'm upset right now because, this product broke, but it has nothing to do with you. You're awesome. In fact, what can I do for you? People will respond to you so well if you don't make it all about yourself and make it about trying to help them. And if you are nervous, again, you're helping them out by letting them know you're nervous because then you're showing your true self and they will respond to that. So whatever you're trying to accomplish, however badly it seems to be going, it's actually going to turn out really well. And even if it doesn't turn out really well today, let's say you just, pulled a Kenny or whatever the guy's name is in South Park who throws up when he sees a pretty girl. Let's say you throw up on their floor. Well, that would be pretty embarrassing at the time, no doubt. And even if you ran out, you threw up and you ran out. Okay, worst case scenario, let's say you came back the next day or the next week. You go back in, they're going to remember you, right? they're going to remember the guy who threw up on their floor, the girl who threw up on their floor, or who slipped and fell, or what have you, or who knocked over the vase. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, what have I done? It's actually awesome, because when you go back, they'll remember you. And you'll say, oh, hey, do you guys remember me? And they may say no. And you go, oh, I'm the one who threw up on your floor last week. Oh, yeah, we remember you. I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what came over me. I was really nervous. They're probably going to go, oh, don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. At least you didn't light the place on fire or whatever. And you'll get a chance to say what it is you came for, but in a much more relaxed environment, because you've already got past all the weirdness of the first time meeting. So, I could go on, and there's so many scenarios and stories that I could tell you. I'll tell you a quick one. I was working on a commercial, and this is at the beginning of my acting career, and I wasn't really doing that well, I didn't think. I felt awkward and nervous, and I didn't even know to tell him that. But I got to joking with the director, and we kind of hit it off, and we stayed in touch. I said, hey, we should exchange info. He's like, sure. And then I had the idea to come up with an idea for a commercial, because I was a pilot, and I thought, what if I just played this pilot character over and over? And I just sent him the email with that idea, and he said, yeah, that sounds interesting. And I sent him some ideas, and he sent them to the vice president of marketing of the airline, and they liked it. And the next thing I knew, I was flying to New York City to do a voiceover spot first, which I didn't even ask to do. They made a voiceover spot, played all over the radio for at least a year. Then they came out to Santa Monica, and we shot the actual commercial that I wrote. Then I got a check in the mail for writing the commercial for like $3,000. And there's more to the story, but I'm not even going to get into it. But anyway, I made a good friend with this guy. He now lives in a villa in Italy, and I have an open invitation to go anytime I want. They make olive oil and their own sun-dried tomatoes, like hello. And anyway, it's just because, I don't know, I feel the need to find out what people are like and try and make a connection with them. And if you do that and don't try and act all cool, just be yourself and try and make connections with people, it's amazing what can be accomplished. It's not hard to make connections when you just sort of try and feel people out and reveal of yourself. And they'll go, oh, that's interesting. Wow, I didn't know that. I actually did that too. I played golf too. I went to that school too. Wow, what a coincidence. What a great watch you have. Where'd you get that watch? I like your haircut. I like your shirt. You look cold. Do you want to borrow my sweater? There's just so many things. But you got to remember to keep it cool. And if you get nervous, tell them you're nervous. And here's a little tip at the end of this. The way to sort of lock this in is to do a briefing process. So before you walk into an office, say to yourself, coach yourself, and say, hey, what am I here to do? And go over that. Okay, I'm here to do this. Okay, how am I going to do it? I'm going to do it this way. And what happens if I don't get what I want? If things go terribly wrong, what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to stay put, I'm going to relax, and I'm going to deal with the moment as it arises. So if they charge me, I'm going to go, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. And they're going to probably, say, oh, don't worry, it's not you. If I get nervous, I'm going to tell them I'm nervous. If I notice something that's worth talking about, I'm going to talk about it and see what happens. You can't be going into these situations looking for results. Even auditions, you can't be going for a result. You've got to be going to just see what happens and allow what's going on to affect you, and then bounce it back to the room. And whether it's the camera or the audience or the casting director or the producers or the directors or whoever it is you're dealing with, bounce back whatever's happening to you to them, and they'll receive it and they'll behave accordingly. So the more positive and relaxed and helpful you are, that's what's going to come back to you. So brief yourself and say, this is what I'm going to do, this is how I'm going to do it, and if things go awry, I'm going to deal with it, no problemo. Because you know what? There's a great saying I heard Conor McGregor say, and I agree with this, but he says, his coach tells me, you're either going to win or you're going to learn. Okay? So that's what's going to happen in all of these meetings and events. You're either going to win, meaning you're going to get what you came for, or you're going to learn so freaking much and you're going to feel so great. In fact, the learning may feel even better than the winning. Okay? Like, it's actually possible, because you may learn things about yourself, especially as you start this process off and you go, oh my gosh, David is so right. This is so fun and so cool to be just interacting with these pillars of the community and of the industry. So after you've done your briefing, you go do your thing, you see what happens. Then after the event, the meeting, then you do what's called a debriefing. And that's when you go, okay, I came in to do this, what actually happened, and what could I do next time to make it better? How could I make this whole thing better the next time? And what did I learn? Like, what did I learn that I wasn't anticipating? And like, what happened in the room that had nothing to do with what I came there for? This just happened to me in a casting situation. I had an audition. I did my little briefing, and then I had my audition, and some awesome talk came out of it. And one of the things I learned was, if you walk in and you just start talking to the casting director, you can get so much information out of them by asking them or just talking and going, yeah, you know, this is a really interesting script. I thought this and that, and what do you think? And should I be doing this seated or standing? I mean, what would happen on the day? And they go, I don't know, what would happen on the day? It's amazing how few people ask them questions, and, you know, they think, well, I just got it, I'm going to do it the way I've got it, and we'll see if they like it. That's fine, but you may as well learn some facts that aren't necessarily on the page, because facts are very important. If you don't have the facts, then you're making stuff up. And often when you make stuff up, it's the wrong stuff. It's the wrong thoughts. And I've made lots of wrong thoughts, and it leads you astray. So try and get the facts. And so I not only got facts, which helped my audition, but I learned that interacting with people is fun. I like it. They like it too, and I get to build the relationship with the casting director, which is awesome. And so they're going to call me in more, and then my auditions are better because we get to know each other better. And it's just this spiral of good. It's not a death spiral, it's a spiral of life, whatever the heck that is. Anyway, guys, I'm choking. I can see my battery's running out, and this is going on, and I hope I haven't made my point, haven't belabored my point too much. But I just want to emphasize, guys, of all the digital stuff that's going on, and we think it's, you know, that's the key to success, is social media and whatever else is going on. You know, the latest and greatest, and communicate with 500 people all at once. Nothing will ever replace one-on-one relationships. And that's what you should be focused on almost 100%. People are saying, well, how many followers do you have? You know what? You're not going to hire me as an actor because of my followers, okay? It's just like, how great are your headshots? You're not hiring me because of my headshots. You're hiring me because you know, like, and trust me, and then you see I do amazing work, and then I'm flexible, and I'm fun to be around, and I'm interesting, and I talk to people, and I engage with them, and I, you know, try and make connections with them. I try and make everyone that I'm around have a good time, feel good, enjoy what they're doing. I do that. I talk to the cameraman. I talk to the AD. I talk to whoever I'm around if I get a chance, and just see what's going on with them. Check in with them. Say, hey, how's it going today? Are you having a good day or a bad day? What can I do to make it better? In fact, if that's all you think of is trying to make people's days go better, you're going to make a million friends in the business, and as your skills catch up to your relationship skills, they're going to want to hire you, okay? So I'm just going to leave it at that, guys, because obviously I'm just going on and on and on, and you're just staring at my face. I wish I had some animation or some words going across the screen. Maybe I'll throw some into the video, the final video. But otherwise, if you have any questions, comments, let me know. If you have any subjects for videos, let me know, because that's really what I'm all about, is helping out you guys, sharing of myself, and I'm getting better and better at that, and trying to help you guys. So if you liked the video, share it, subscribe to my channel. If you subscribe, I think you can get notifications of all the new videos I make, and maybe they'll be helpful too. So yeah, that's it. We'll talk to you soon.